the top 3 events on the economic calendar for next week is New Zealand inflation expectations, and then inflation out of America at 5.9. Wow. And then GDP out of UK. And when we look at the market, it's pretty straightforward, as this as to be seen as some kind of bottom, and then this is definitely the sell area. So right now this might be a rise to the upside. That would be great, but as we can see, the dollar has really been pushed down against what I want to see, but it is what it is. So we're just hoping that this might be a reversal, but we need to have a higher high, higher low, and then continuation before we can start buying. But if you want to buy on Monday, that's totally up to you, not my opinion. But I'm definitely seeing this one continue to rise up, and if it falls, then it falls, then I'm not going to bother it. As we have planned out this buy level here on S&P 500, we are still holding 44.50, and I still have a positive outlook on the stock market. But there is risk. There is risk of Ukraine war. There is risk of Iran coming back online, mostly against the oil market. But if they add more supply to oil, that would be great. So I'm still bullish here altogether. The steel Nasdaq is the same thing, and we have broken support. It's not really great, but I still see if we can get a higher high, higher low, and continuation higher. So I'm a bit skeptical here. It still goes, but I want still to be positive about the future. It isn't too bad. My top 2 setups for next week, not this one. My top 2 setups for next week is definitely Aussie dollar, which we sold in the live, and I was a mistake. So yeah, I sold on NFP. I sold 71, so around in here, and yeah, I guess it goes. Anyways, so a bit of a pullback would be great, and if you do use the pivot points, 71.22 is the best price, and current level of 70.73 is also good. So anywhere in kind of this box area, I would be like, amazing. I would be looking for the downside. The next thing I also want to look forward to is principles above here, so I don't lose all my money, because I want money. Euro. Okay, I'm going to be a bit different here than I normally am. I see this one can rise. So if you have a bullish bias, by all means, I'm not going to take that away from you. You have to be above 14.10 constantly to still be allowed and still be considered this to be a bullish plan. The other thing is, if this one breaks down, do not look for a buy anymore, because that is a break of structure. That is no longer what you want to see. And if who's going to win of dollar and euro, dollar is going to win. So if it breaks, then that's it. But still, so far now, it's still bullish. You're very late, but it's still bullish. And if you want to buy it, continue for next week, cool, okay, that is totally up to you. But if you are willing to take the risk, you definitely need to look into a target of around 1550, just to make sure that you don't overshoot yourself. And if we go above that target, then the risk increases substantially. So euro, I'm not so interested. Maybe on Monday, maybe on Tuesday, we'll have an updated event there, and maybe. On pound, we had 16,000 less buyers in the course of the CRT for the previous week. So what happened? That's supposed to be bullish. They increased rate hikes. They increased their rates. So I have definitely now a more bearish outlook, either a sell price around 153.86 or around 15.44. What is that? Price action. No pivot points, no indicators, just price action. Just resistance, support and resistance. This is a new lower low. We don't want that as a buyer, and if you're a buyer, you'll be like, oh, I don't want to do this, okay? So as a seller here, I'm a bit better, right? So Aussie, pound is my 2 favorite ones. And comes third place is also New Zealand, down to 60.50. And well, Evan, why are you not giving a? Why are you saying it's going to do this? It will do that. Well, I'm just going to tell you one thing, bro. To all the haters, I do not know the future, but this is the two levels that is normally going to react in a bearish trend. So, if you're going to take New Zealand dollar, if that is your plan, if that is according to you, because I'm not going to give you any whatsoever financial advice, is that if it comes up here and you think that's a good idea and it reach your confirmations, okay, then targets around 60, around 0.65, and stop loss should be above 66.97, and you should probably take it easy. Okay, cool. So that is my 3 top runs right now. Pound yen. Looking better, mate. So we have now a new low. Oops, that easy. We have a new low here, and we have rejected the top. This can still make a double top, lower low, lower high. So this is currently the 1 hour. This is the 1 hour reversal. So everything is good, you know. So I love this setup. So this is my setup that I would like to see almost all the time, and we have got it. So do we now have a 4 hour double top? I do not know. So this is the first attempt of selling at around 156 to the downside. What did I say last week? Around 156 or 155 to the downside, and we shall see if it goes. So then USD CAD. Okay, USD CAD. This is not the greatest place on earth. Okay, so we have structure. We have 130 pips down to the bottom. We have potentially a new higher high. We have maybe a weakening in oil. Then this one should rise, right? But risk. Where's your support? You are 130 pips down to support here. I would have divided my entry and my lot size in half to get stop loss down below here. But if then you're right, then the better thing to do is to catch the second higher high here, and higher low here, where you have stop loss below that structure again, so you don't have some large stop loss, but you know, a bit smaller, so it doesn't kill you, right? So oil, as I've mentioned a couple of times, it is super duper stretched. Okay, well, what did we say in February? We said it was going to go rise higher. We said, I think, generally 4% rise in February, and we are really there. So what happened on the weekend is there might be a deal with Iran, with America, and their nuclear deal, whatever. That might bring Iran back on the table. That's going to increase supply to the oil, and that's also going to send oil prices down. But by all means, this is still stretched to the upside. And if you look at the monthly, just to make sure that we are all in line with 95, we are still not there. But when things are a bit overstretched, as it is technically right now, I'm not going to say that it's not, but I would just say to you that you should consider how far do your stop loss need to be, and how much are you willing to risk to take this one higher. So, you know, that is price action, price action, price action any day. But any deeper pullback would be considered what? A potential new bearish trend, because once it's super stretched, and last week on oil, they also added, did they take away? Yeah, 4,000, was it only 4,000? Only 4,000 down, so there was less and less buyers here. So as you rise, there's less and less buyers. What's that gonna do? The bubble is gonna crack, and we're gonna go down. So, gold. What is happening on gold at the moment, people? This is by far the market I do not want to trade. I don't want to say anything to you here. I'm not going to give you any directions. I'm not going to give you anything. I've said 1830, as you can see on the screen, 1830 to the downside. and the buy area is around 1800, around 1795. That is all that is there on this chart. Oops, probably take this one first. The bottom is here, the top is here, and until the market has figured out what they want to do, that's when you can start trade. But right now it's a range. It is super duper volatile, and it's super duper going nowhere. But if you look at the COT report for last week, gold had a massive 47,000 less long contracts in total. So what does that mean? That means hedge fund managers are getting out of gold buys. The same thing with silver. 9,000 less longs in total, in net. So what does that mean? Well, that means that it's less and less bullish for the hedge funds. And what do they know that you don't know if they are starting to sell off or take their profits off and taking their longs off? Okay? Just having that in mind clearly as a day, okay? So, the next thing we then need to do is basically join my next live. Hope you have enjoyed this one. And what is important for next week? Read bank reports, read bank reports, follow the news, FX Live, Forex Street, whatever those are, and make sure that you are joining in for the live tomorrow at around New York Open. Boom. Have a good day.